of, man, I just don't have enough time in the day to work out. And then all of a sudden something clicked in me. It was like, actually, you do have enough time. And I have the same amount of time as everybody else. It's just being me, and I was being lazy, and I just was making excuses. And I want to help you rewrite this limiting belief. So I want to take this limiting belief of there isn't enough time, and I want to turn that into an empowering belief. And some people have called it, you're slaying your dragons. In other words, limiting beliefs are conscious or subconscious beliefs that hold us back in some way. I mean, these are the ideas that truly will limit us. These are the thoughts that keep us from reaching our full potential. And where do limiting beliefs come from? Man, we all have them. We all have limiting beliefs in some way. We all have them. And sometimes these beliefs, though, they originate from our childhood. Maybe they're instilled in us by our parents or our friends. Other times these beliefs, man, they're results from trauma. And sometimes there's no real true experience that we can look back on and realize this is where this limiting belief comes from. And remember, these are beliefs that hold us back in some way. That's what a limiting belief is. But if we're truly going to reach our potential in life, if we're truly going to reach it, then we've got to get rid of these limiting beliefs that are holding us back. So many of us have these limiting beliefs that are holding you back from being the best that you can be. And we got to be set free from these lies and these falsehoods that we are believing, because both ourselves and the people who love us most see that, man, these are limiting beliefs, and they believe that we have so much more to give. You know, one of those limiting beliefs is, I don't have enough time. Have you ever felt that or believed that about yourself? I just don't have time. And you know, if you're like most people, you are busy. I mean, you're busy. You've got projects to work on. You've got things to do around the house. You've got people to spend time with. You've got these administrative adulting tasks that you have to do, like paying bills or changing tires. Dude, I hate whenever it's time to change tires on my car. Like, that is one of the most annoying tasks that you could ever have me do. And or just anything like windshield wipers, anything like that is just so annoying. I mean, we've got 1,000 emails to answer. We've got games to go to for our kids. We've got to make dinner, which is another and you feel so busy and you feel like you're constantly going all the time that you think, man, I just don't have time to do anything. You have these goals, you've had these dreams, and they're gone. And you feel like you're running in 1,000 different directions without really making much progress on anything. And put simply, you feel like you don't have enough time of the day to do what really matters. And you think to yourself, and you've said this, if I only had more time, I could do the things that I really want to do. If I had more hours in the day, I could get more things done. And those are thoughts, those are normal thoughts. People say that, people think that, you've thought that, I've thought that. But then when you start to look around, you realize that all your friends are busy, your coworkers are busy, and you just start to accept the norm that everything is busy. And your limiting belief is this. It is, there isn't enough time in the day to get things done. But this doesn't have to be the norm. It doesn't. And I want to help you rewrite this limiting belief. So I want to take this limiting belief of there isn't enough time, and I want to turn that into an empowering belief. So we've got the limiting belief that there isn't enough time, and then we have some empowering beliefs. And here's a few of them. I have time for my most important tasks. My schedule gives me freedom from time pressure. I refuse to let time rule my life. I get things done without worrying about time. I am productive, and I make the best out of the time I have been given. And so the best way to make these empowering beliefs work for you is to work on the one thing that matters to you most first in the day. And by making this quick progress on the task that matters most to you, you're going to feel more productive. You are going to destroy the limiting belief of, I don't have enough time. And some people have called it, you're slaying your dragons. In other words, if you slay your most important dragon first thing in the morning before you get started on the 1,000 other tasks that come for your time and all the things that happen, and you give your full focus to that one thing that matters to you, to the thing that will move you forward the most, man, I'm telling you, you're going to slay that dragon, and you're going to realize, man, I've got time. I've got time. And by doing your most important thing first, you're going to rewrite this limiting belief that there isn't enough time in the day for what matters. And your new belief is going to become this. Check this out. Watch this. I believe this with everything I have. Your new belief is going to be there is plenty of time to do what matters because I work on what matters first. And I know this is true for me. For me, I had a limiting belief, just like so many of you guys, that I don't have enough time in the day to work out. And man, I really believe that with all I had. And it actually was really comfortable. I felt good about that. I felt good about saying that. I felt good about living that out. Man, I just don't have enough time in the day to work out. And then all of a sudden something clicked in me. It was like, actually, you do have enough time. And I have the same amount of time as everybody else. It's just being me, and I was being lazy, and I just was making excuses. And so what did I do is I really did want to start running. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to set my day off with time in the Word, with the Lord. And this limiting belief was I just don't have enough time was just because I didn't want to wake up. I knew that if I woke up, I could get it done. And what I have found about slaying my dragon early in the morning, which is getting up, spending time with the Lord, and running, is that it has set such a great tone for me for the rest of the day because I'm able to knock that dragon out. I like to run, but it still is a dragon, and it is still at times hard to do. And so, man, what I have found that I can now crush that belief. It is given me more time to do other things that I truly love in my day. So here's a few action tips for you, and I would love for you to write these down so that you can crush this limiting belief of I don't have enough time. One of those, here's some action steps, 5 of them. Write down all the tasks that you need to perform in a given day. Like, do that right now. Like, what are the tasks that you need to get done? Write those down. And then organize those tasks by whatever the most important is at the top and then down from there. So what are those tasks? And then write them down, most important to least important. And then determine your most important task for that day, not for the week, not for the, coming up later this year, not for next year. What's the most important task for that day that you've been given? And then give all of your attention to working on that task until it's done. And then you repeat that process throughout the day. And so my encouragement to you, as you write this list of the tasks that you need to perform each day, and a lot of them are going to be the same every single day. Man, write those down and knock out that first one before anything. I don't know what that task is for you. I have no idea what that is. But man, knock it out. And then when you're done, cross it off and move on to the next one. Sometimes we start to knock out a goal or a task or whatever that is, and then we just kind of get distracted and we start doing something else. Man, set yourself a time limit. Like, I'm going to work on this for the next hour, and then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to walk away for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to go at it for another hour and get all distractions out of the way and knock it out. And then it's done and you move on. The same is true about our thought life and our thoughts that are in our heads. Sometimes we have all these thoughts and these things, and like, man, I don't know what to deal with this. Here's what I encourage you: write that thought down and then give it away. Maybe that's a limiting thought about yourself. Maybe it's a negative thought. Man, write that thought down. Get it out from the top. It's taking so much space in your mind, and write it down. Watch what happens when you're really clearing out the cache, if you will, of your mind. You're taking that and you're putting it down. Because what happens, we get so full of stuff and we just don't know what to do with it. We won't tell anybody. We don't want to do this. And then we become so busy in all the things. And sometimes those limiting beliefs of I don't have enough time sometimes can come from all the negative thoughts that we have in our mind about whatever is happening or what has happened. Man, write that down. Write down that thought. And I encourage you, man, there is so much more than enough time in each day. There's so much more time to accomplish the tasks that matter most. Just sometimes we like to do things that we think is the most important at that time. Maybe that's scrolling Instagram or Facebook or getting on Marketplace or doing the thing that's more fun versus what we need to get done. Some of us have like a pile of bills that we're like, I'll get to it tomorrow or the next day. And then we never get to it. Man, I'm telling you, there's so much freedom in knocking these tasks out and just get it done, because then you're able to continue on. And man, I refuse to be distracted. I want you to think about that and say that. Refuse to be distracted. Refuse to be distracted from the things that you really want to do versus the things that you know you should do. Refuse to be distracted from that. And slay those dragons first thing in the morning. And man, if that's a work project, when you get to work, man, sit down and get after it and get it done. First thing, just get it done. And it'll be so great whenever you can move on to the next thing. And do the less important things later, after you finish your most important task. And man, I just want to encourage you, because I know that you can do this. Man, I've met with a few clients recently, and we've been working on this, on, I mean, people are telling me as I meet with them and I'm coaching them through different things in life, a lot of this is health and wellness, and they feel like, man, I just don't have enough time to work out, or man, it's easier for me to go by the fast food place and to get this, and it is easier, and you may feel like you don't have enough time, but here's what I'm finding out with a lot of these clients that I'm working with, is that when they write down the simple task yet hard to do, when we write down our list of what's most important to us and we start to cross those things off, they are starting to see so much more freedom in their lives. You've got people who have never ever ran a mile in their life, and now they're jogging a mile because to them they didn't have enough time, or they didn't know how to do it, they didn't know how to get started, and they reached out and said, man, I need some help with this. And we're able to together to eliminate some of these limiting beliefs. And the limiting belief of I don't have enough time is a lie. We all have enough time. We just need to prioritize what we do with the time that we are given every single day. And man, if you are looking for some help in any area, you're like, man, I need a coach to walk alongside me and to help me knock some things out, I would love to work with you. You can click a link down in the description and you can see many ways that we can work together. I'd love to meet you and help you. And maybe I'm not the right coach for you. Maybe I can help you in a different way. I would love to be able to do that. I believe that, man. I just know this. There's enough time. Don't believe the lie that you don't have enough time. It is not cool to be busy. It's cool to be peaceful.